Gervonta Tank Davis's team tells Shakur Stevenson what he needs to do to make sure that these two have one of the best fights we could be looking forward to in the sport of boxing. And Shakur Stevenson acts like he don't want to do it. Not good news. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. We are going to talk about the best fight that can be made in the lightweight division, in my opinion, and that is a fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson. But we got some hiccups, we got some roadblocks, and it doesn't seem like Shakur Stevenson is in too big a rush to get rid of those roadblocks. Where have we seen this before? We've seen it in a fight that took years and years and years to make, and people were blaming one side, blaming the other. But for people that remember key moments like this, we know who is most responsible for it, and it's the person that is doing what I'm predicting that Shakur Stevenson will do. Not that it's a bad decision for him personally, nor that I don't understand why he said what he said, but still, as we look at one particular fight, the fight that people want to see, him and Gervonta Davis, nah, man, it ain't gonna make it happen any sooner. Now, what is that? It is that Shakur Stevenson says that he is not signing any long-term deals with anybody. And he doubts that signing with the PBC, Premier Boxing Champions, will get him the Gervonta Davis fight anytime soon. He also talks about what he thinks his next steps are, and if he was to become the undisputed champion at 135, what his route would be. And he puts Gervonta Davis dead last. Now, before I get into the rest of it, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you very much. And thank you to everybody that supports in the super thanks of videos like this. The little $ right next to the comments that you guys can leave. It really is the best way to be able to support content creators on videos like this. And so thank you very much to everybody that does. Matty O, Barbara D, Jeff Miller, everybody else, Big Dre. Thank you guys so much for your continued support. It really makes a huge difference to the channel. But let's get into this, because this is what happened when we started originally talking about a fight between Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford was signed to Top Rank. Errol Spence Jr. fights for the PBC. And Terrence Crawford had an opportunity to go to the PBC several years before he wound up breaking free from Top Rank and the fight between he and Errol Spence Jr. eventually happening. If I recall correctly, he waited another 3 years before his last time that he re-signed with Top Rank and the time that he fought Errol Spence Jr. And listening to an interview that came from Shakur Stevenson, I'm believing that we're going to have probably the same thing take place here. And there's going to be a same everybody blaming the guy with the biggest name and claiming him, calling him a duck and doing all of that. But we'll forget moments like this and things like this. In boxing, it is very, very real that if you have two different promotional companies, it's difficult to make a fight, because Bob Arum at Top Rank will have his own fighters that he wants his fighters to face, while the PBC will have the same interest. So when Shakur says in a series of tweets that, you know, you can't promise me that if I sign with the PBC, that means I'm going to get the Gervonta Davis fight right away. How many fights are they going to want me to have before I fight him? That's saying, okay, man, well, he's not looking to sign with the PBC. But you know for sure that there's going to be a bunch of fights if you re-sign with Top Rank. At least it's very, very likely that you're going to have a bunch of fights if he signs with Top Rank before he gets to the Gervonta Davis fight. And then you add to that he said that his route to Undisputed would be to fight Vasily Lomachenko next, obviously assuming that Vasily Lomachenko gets past George Kambosos like we anticipate him doing. And then he would fight Emmanuel Navarrete, who was the WBO champion. And then he would have the IBF, the WBC, and the WBO, all three of those belts. And then the last one would be Gervonta Davis. However, let's go back to the Errol Spence Jr. And Terrence Crawford comparison again, where Errol, the PBC fighter, had three of the belts. It took a while to get all of those belts together. And even then, there was another good year and a half, almost 2 years between the time that Errol got that third belt and the time that he actually wound up fighting Terrence Crawford. So if we're looking for the fight to be made, then the fastest way to make the fight for Shakur Stevenson is to sign with the PBC. I don't know why you would say that it would take another 5-6 fights to get that done if you sign with the PBC. Now, I do understand why Shakur would say that he doesn't want to sign a long-term deal with anybody. However, the fact that you don't have a long-term deal with anybody does not make it any more likely that you solve the problem of a fight with Gervonta Davis. You're still going to have to go to that network, which means they still may have people prioritized over you because you're not committed to it. But at the end of the day, what's going to happen is going to happen. I understand Shakur Stevenson's hesitancy to sign a long-term deal with anybody. And I'm not telling Shakur Stevenson what he should do with his career and whether or not what he says is true or not true, as far as how long it may take him to get the Gervonta Davis fight if he fights with the PBC. Only thing I can say is I haven't seen a lot of people of the PBC having to wait for a fight with Gervonta Davis in the weight class that he has. Rolly Romero got it. Isaac Cruz got it. Frank Martin got it. So, Mario Barrios got it. I mean, people are getting the fights with him. But at the same time, if he feels like it's a smarter decision to either re-sign with Top Rank or to go to, Matchroom, or maybe if Turki Al-Sheikh wants to work with him directly, I mean, hey, man, those are different moves that he can make. I'm just saying, even in the case where people think that, Turki Al-Sheikh deals save all, not necessarily, because Gervonta Davis is making the type of money that Turki Al-Sheikh would be overpaying people. He's doing that in the United States by himself. But anyway, just wanted to update you on that. That's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.